All right, I got another review today of a custom Lego World War II build kit that is not of my design. This is the new Sherman model from J.E. Brick Productions. I reviewed a couple of his tanks before on my channel, but now I'm reviewing his second Sherman variation. As far as I know, this is the second build that he's made of the M4 Sherman. The original being a lot chunkier, I think. I never had the original. I saw some people who bought it, but today I'll be reviewing the new one that I purchased for my tank collection. I've already kind of explained why I buy these things, what they do for me, and I think it's fun to get a chance to show people in sort of this community, this kind of stuff, what it's like to expect if you buy something like this, and sort of how you went about and designed this thing. Like I've mentioned before, I don't have any links or affiliations with J.E. Brick, but I'm a happy supporter of his work and his stop motions on YouTube, and I really like the tank models that he built, and the other two that I bought from him I was really satisfied with, so I thought it would be worth giving it a try to buy the Sherman. The M4 Sherman is one of my favorite tanks from the Second World War, and I want to get a chance to build and review his kit as I've been working more on my Sherman and getting a chance to kind of see what other people did. So this is the new one. I have my little guy Ronald here for comparison. He grew a mustache, so everybody take a minute to appreciate that. This is J.D. Brick's second build of the M4 Sherman. I think it's supposed to be an A4, I want to say. I don't honestly know. I don't know if he picked a specific version, if it was supposed to be any of the specific designations of the Sherman, or if it was just supposed to be an M4 Sherman build, kind of like how mine was, which was sort of just more generalized for the convenience of it. Getting into features here, I'm sure people who have seen this on YouTube already know a lot about the features because he kind of packed it full with some fun little details. And he kind of explained those and showed them off on his channel and stuff too. But as a consumer, I want to talk a little bit about what to expect out of this as somebody who bought this. So this is M4 Sherman tank build. People already know things about the Sherman, so I won't go into the history. But for this specific build, I want to talk a little bit about how it's put together. Features include moving bogies with some level of pliable suspension. As you can see here, this kind of bends as the tracks roll. This is unlike anything I've ever seen on a build like this. There was only one other builder that I saw a little bit of that tried to make tank suspension, and I'm really jealous of this. This is incredible. I've never been able to manage to make tank suspension because it bends the tracks a little bit and it's a little tough on the Legos. I think this system actually works pretty well. There are better videos online showing about how this how that works on his channel and stuff too. But it rolls pretty nicely, all things considered, with the gear in the front, the idler in the back, just like how it is on the real Sherman. And then there is actually a little bit of play in the tracks to be able to work the bogies, which I think is really beautiful. He managed to do it obviously on both sides, the same thing. It's definitely a parts intensive build, but with the instructions it was pretty easy to follow along, and it's such a fun feature to see the bogies work as they do, and to be able to pose it in a mock too, I think would be really neat. So that's something that is definitely very unique to this design that I have not been able to work anything into like on my own tanks. Another feature like that is these engine deck pieces in the back here that do actually open up. There are service hatches in the back, as they would be on the real M4 Sherman. And this guy too actually opens in the same way. These are both service hatches that would open exactly as they would on the real tank, which I think that is another lovely detail to add a little bit of realism to the back of this. These are features that I've been trying to weave into my tank, but still have not managed to get there yet because of the complexity of the build, but I think I'm still getting there, and I still have a lot of work to do on mine to kind of make it the best that I can. Uses kind of a cheese wedge sloping here on the back. As you see on a lot of these things, it's kind of the cleanest way to do that, even though it's really tricky to get that sloping. And then a really nice tilt piece here to get this deck slanted on the back. I think it looks really, really great. It's really wonderful. Those right there, other than the ball mount machine gun right here, those are the only really unique things I think about this build that stand out to me. The rest of it, in my personal opinion, falls a little bit short. Granted, I do want to say that this is a wonderful Sherman model, and I absolutely love it. It's even better than the one he already made, and it is incredible for stop motions and customizability, and for the price and all that. It's a really, really great model and how it's designed. However, the features that I'm looking for in a tank build, as you've seen in my own Sherman, are a little bit more aggressive. These hatches are much better than the ones he had in the old model that were just dummy hatches, but these actually all open. But the details that I'm picky about when it comes to the hatches really aren't there. The hatches get in the way of the turret, so the turret locks and can't move. and has a propensity to want to break and twist these hatches as they are. They hinge off at little strange angles here, with this piece having sort of a propensity to twist off, which is not totally fun. I'm sure there's a chance, oh, see, I just broke it. There sure is a chance that I also just made it wrong. That's also quite a possibility, but I also, I'm pretty scrupulous about my instructions and trying to get everything to function the way that it's supposed to go. Let's see if I can even get this out of here. So when it comes to the details, I try not to think that it was a builder error, and it was more of a design thing for the most part. Is this guy even gonna come out? Oh, here we go. Perfect. Yeah, so it's like small things like that that I could complain about, but when it comes to designing the shape of the tank and less about the features, he definitely knocked it out of the park with the shaping. And I think, again, the criteria being a little bit different than mine, those are things that I could complain about but won't for the most part. These hatches, as they are, barely fit a minifigure inside. So I brought this guy obviously for demonstration here too. He kind of fits in there. You could put a half body minifigure in there. Like I said, that's something that I don't usually like to do, but it's something you could do. It does get in the way of the turret here, which again is just small things. And then this one is entirely unusable because of this machine gun position. There's actually a piece that juts out in there that doesn't allow you to do anything with it. So those hatches are very nice detail, but they don't do a whole lot. Same with this hatch up here, believe it or not. There is more of a space there, and there is an intentional stud there in case you probably wanted to connect a minifigure body, but sitting a guy down, he actually doesn't fit in the hatch at all. Not at all, actually. You'd have to probably stack some extra pieces on the bottom of his body and then connect him onto the end there to get that to go, to make that be at all usable. Obviously, there's a posable up and down gun, ventilator cap. I love this 50 cal design for the 50 cal machine gun. I think that's really good. And the sloping and the angles on the turret are just beautiful. I also am really a huge fan of this rolled front here. This sort of is a cast rolled transmission piece on the front here that I did not manage to get very well on my own Sherman, and I think is a wonderful detail to add here. And there are also really small things that if you're a really super aggressive tank nerd, you'd notice, like how these tools in the back here are actually hooked in the exact orchestration they'd be on the actual Sherman tank for how the kit is supposed to be rearranged. This was definitely made by somebody who cares a lot about the tank design and how they managed to build this in Lego. So that's kind of the main parts of the features. I'm a huge fan of this build, and I want to say positive things about it because I really like it. There's a couple things, like I mentioned, that fall short for me, like the hatches, but the uniqueness of the suspension and the engine service hatches I think are really unique, and it is definitely a step up from his original build. And his original build was so good. It was such a wonderful Sherman design, but this one I think just blew the other one out of the water and has such lovely shaping using some very complex and new Lego pieces. So it's a wonderful kit. I'm very glad to have bought it and have it in my collection now. Like I said, JD Brick Productions, he makes all kinds of stuff like this, and they're wonderful. They're really great. Being able to make stuff like this and make it accessible to the fans to be able to buy the kits like that is awesome, and I'm always a proud supporter and love to be able to support his channel, and I'm a huge fan of his work. So yeah, this is the second Sherman build, as far as I know, from JD Brick Productions, his own custom kit. I love it. I think it's really good. It'll look good in my collection of Lego tanks. And for whatever reason I don't like it, I'll keep the instructions and I'll scrap it for parts and use it on some of my own projects. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. Just a little in-depth review. I'm trying to give people a little bit of context if they were interested in buying this kit, what they're getting into. I would have loved to have a chance to get my hands on his original Sherman design, but I didn't obviously manage to do it before it was discontinued, I imagine now, and now they've got this one out. So really cool tank design. I hope to see more of his upgraded kits from him. I hope he builds more stuff like this with the unique features like the suspension and the engine hatches, because I always like seeing original takes on designs like of tanks that have definitely been built a lot of times, like how the M4 Sherman has been built a lot of times in Lego, including myself. So I hope you all are having a wonderful day wherever you are. It is very hot at my house, so I am uncomfortable, but I'm doing the best that I can to kind of just cruise through the day and just working on stuff like this. So I've got some more projects coming soon. Hope you all are well wherever you are, and I will catch you guys in the next project. Peace out.